K line, now arriving. Now arriving, folks. Come on, folks, you can cheer better than that. Now arriving, the new K line. Arriving to the Lamarck Park Station. This is a historic event that we've all been waiting for. Thank you so much, Los Angeles. Let's welcome and give a big cheer to the banner breakthrough, the new K-Line. Look at that. Beautiful train. That's your K-Line, folks. Use it. Use it.
We are here holding today's celebration and opening of the K-Line right here in historic Lamarck Park. I know firsthand the importance of community involvement and consensus building when undertaking a mega project like the K-Line that goes through very diverse communities of South Los Angeles. As with any project of this size, there will be pains and interruptions that occur during the construction phase, but at the end of the day, the K-Line is going to deliver much needed connections to surrounding communities and bring people to the heart of the Crenshaw District, Inglewood, through improved mobility options for all. It's a great day in LA and one that will go down in history as a major milestone in providing equitable access to jobs and create economic benefits for all. So give yourselves a round of applause for helping make this day a reality for South Los Angeles. We have a long agenda to get through this morning and a lot of special entertainment to feature and enjoy. So without further ado, it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you Glendale City Council member and Metro Board Chair, Ara Najarian, to kick off this celebration.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is really a superb day. It's an excellent day, not just for the K-Line, but to be here with all of you and all the community leaders that are behind me at the podium. Let's hear it for all of us. Now they say 7 is a lucky number. It has a connection with kindness and beauty, and it has been used since ancient times as a positive harbinger for things to come. And that's a good thing for us because the K-Line is officially Metro's 7th rail line to open in our county. It brings with us the promise of a better mobility for all Angelenos. Today's ceremony gives Metro and the community an opportunity to celebrate this lucky milestone together. Now, I know what some of you have been saying. A lot of you thought this day would never come. Construction isn't easy, but we kept at it. Persistence, commitment, and determination on behalf of Metro, its contractor, and the community. And this day has finally arrived. This project represents Metro's largest transportation commitment in the South Los Angeles region since the construction of both the A line and the C line more than 20 years ago. The communities along the project's alignment fought long and hard to see this day come. So we now have a state-of-the-art rail system that's ready to transport thousands of riders per day and connect them with other important metro rail and bus lines crisscrossing our county. With the K line officially completed, we have our eyes trained on future expansion, because we're not stopping here. Thanks to our earlier taxpayer-funded sales tax measures, we now have plans to expand the K line north, all the way to the B line in Hollywood, and potentially to the Hollywood Bowl. Now, Metro staff is busy developing a draft environmental impact report that will explore our alternatives for reaching Hollywood. Things take time, remember. Metro plans to release this for your review in 2023. While there's a long way to go in planning, the important thing is we've already begun that process. It clearly demonstrates that Metro is committed to long-term transit improvements that will create better linkages that will continue to connect our communities throughout the county. And one of the key benefits that I like to brag about is the K line will bring us one step closer to LAX via the Airport Metro Connector Station, now under construction. That's good news. We've been waiting that for decades. It's set to open in 2024. As we all know, we've been trying to build this. I won't tell you exactly how long. Today, we are a bigger step closer to that all-important goal. In fact, the K line, together with Airport Metro Connector Station, will make it possible for travelers from all over the region and the world to transfer quickly and easily between LAX and Metro's expansive transit system. And for once and for all, LA will have a direct transit connection to the airport, which makes it a game changer for the region. Congratulations, Metro. I encourage everyone to take a ride on the new K line and see for yourself what a $2.1 billion transportation investment looks like in your communities. It is simply beautiful. To make it easy, as you may have heard, Metro will be offering free rides on all the Metro-operated trains, buses, and Metro bike share system-wide. Free rides start at noon today. We'll still be speaking probably, but at noon today, and it will go throughout the weekend. So thank you everyone for being here today as we make good on our efforts to bring rail back to South Los Angeles communities after nearly 7, that's that lucky number again, 7 decades of absence in this community. Congratulations, everyone.
Looking for the K line, baby, the K line. Oh, whoa, whoa. Boy, if I could sing, I'd be mean. For those of you who are not aware, I took some liberties with Dr. Watley's lyrics to her song, I'm Looking for a New Love. But today we're looking for the K line. And as a product of Leimert Park, as I'm rocking my t-shirt, as a third generation Native Angelino, today makes me very proud for a number of reasons. Because you'll hear from Mayor Butts, he'll tell his story about being in the first graduating class from Crenshaw High School and taking the RTD. Well, I used to take the RTD on Sunday afternoons to go to the Soul Train tapings to watch Dr. Watley dance. So I'm having kind of a fangirl moment, so forgive me. Before I get started, I quickly want to thank a number of elected officers who couldn't make it here today but have their staff here representing them. And that's again Congresswoman Karen Bass, represented by Jacqueline Hamilton, Senator Sidney Kamlonger, represented by Naomi Riley, Assemblymember Alma Asucci, and Assemblymember Tina McKenna, represented by Brandon Stansel. Give them a round of applause, please. Director DuPont Walker told you all that I was the ear hustler, so let me explain that. You know, when you're a young 22-year-old staffer and you're working the late shift because your boss was a workaholic and would never go home, I was at least smart enough to know that when State Senator Diane Watson and the mayor were having a conversation, it would behoove me to ear hustle. And that's when I heard them talk about their vision of a train down Crenshaw to the airport. And I vaguely remember thinking, wow, I couldn't see it. And so for me personally, to be a sitting member of Metro today and ride the K-line, it gives me great personal satisfaction. And so I just have to share that. You know, the journey to get here has been underway for almost 4 decades. The Crenshaw line is marked by legacies of leadership. It stands on top of shoulders of both elected officials and fierce community advocates. I've got to recognize many of them who are here today and some of my predecessors, like LA County Supervisor Ron Burke, who in response to the '92 civil uprising championed the Crenshaw Prairie Corridor Study, which was the beginning of where we are today. The station we are at today, Leimert Park, was not inevitable. Its existence is the direct result of true, fierce, courageous leadership and the capital to make it happen. I will thank on behalf of all of us, former Supervisor and Metro Director Mark Ridley Thomas, and City Council members at the time, Herb Weston, Jan Perry, and Bernard Parks, and Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa. This project would not have happened without community champions that have fought so hard and long to ensure that South Los Angeles received a dignified investment worthy of the people of her community. And I believe the K-line is an accurate representation of just that. Many of them were invited here today, but I just have to take a point of personal privilege to say, State Senator Nate Holden, State Senator Diane Watson, State Senator Kevin Murray, followed by State Senator Holly Mitchell, all here today. Appreciate you. And my other former colleagues, State Senator Rod Wright, and other electeds who are here, we thank you for your years of commitment. As a former staffer, I look out and I see the faces of staff members who, you know, let's be clear, the staffers who make it happen. I got to tell it. And so former and current Metro staff and the staff of the electeds who persevered and brought the elected's vision to fruition, we acknowledge and see you and thank you as well. So we welcome the new riders to the K-line, and we welcome them into an entirely different Metro ecosystem. Just over a year ago, we welcomed my fearless leader, CEO Stephanie Wiggins, and that was a glass ceiling broken as the K-line was being built. It would be a missed opportunity to not acknowledge the transit ambassadors. Have you seen them in their bright green? They've already begun trickling into our rail and bus system, and this agency is completely rethinking how to make riders, all riders, feel safe as they go Metro. And with so many of our riders and our fellow Angelenos really suffering economically, we are investing in programs like Life, which offers free and discounted fares, and are actively searching for how to expand our fareless programs. Impacts to the Crenshaw line were the impetus for Metro offering grants to mitigate impacts that you heard Director DuPont Walker talk about, and I'm very proud that that was piloted right here along the Crenshaw corridor. It's clear to see that the K-line project has come a long way and has helped Metro grow with it. And we're opening a brand new kind of Metro along the K-line, one that is truly inclusive to all of its riders. Thank you for being here today, and most importantly, go Metro.
Dedicated his career to finding solutions to the toughest challenges and fighting for communities that are too often left out and left behind. Please welcome Senator Alex Padilla.
Thank you very much. I am not going to, I'm not going to try to sing. I lose votes when I sing. But I do want to thank Dr. Watley for the introduction and the inspiration as well. Good morning, everybody. So thrilled to be here in South Los Angeles. It's an important day, not just for this community, but for the entire Los Angeles region. And I do want to join the chorus of thanking the LA Metro leadership and staff and all the city and county and state and federal representatives because it's been the result of years and decades, as you've heard, of collaboration and vision and leadership that has made today possible. Now, many of the folks in the audience might have come here this morning by car, others by bus. Some of you might even have walked here, but I was fortunate to be in the VIP group that took one of the inaugural trips of the K line to get here. And I know if that's just one example, so many folks are going to be saving space on the roads when we take cars off the roads because people ride the K line. And we're going to save a little money on gas when we ride the K line. It is absolutely an exciting day. Now, for years in California and across the country, we have been in dire need of investments like this in our communities and our infrastructure. And so today really is a big, big deal and a big, big day. We have heard that there are 7 new stations as part of the K-Line, with 2 more to come that will not just improve commutes throughout the region, but improve public transit in the underserved communities and communities of color that have gone far too long without easy access to public transit. So to me, today's unveiling is fundamentally about respect and equity, because we're creating opportunities for Angelenos who should not be limited by whether or not you have access to a car or to a reliable car. I remember when our car used to break down when I was growing up. That hurt. So from here, Leimert Park, to Inglewood, to West Adams, to Westchester, and eventually to LAX, the K-Line will open up doors and connect Angelenos to Metro's entire system for residents across the region. It will bring new shoppers to businesses. It will bring new businesses to new neighborhoods. And it will help students get to school quicker and safer. And you've heard already what it means for job opportunities, not just on the construction side of this, but on the maintenance side of this, and all the development that's going to be happening in and around the stations. But I want to take one last minute just to talk about what it means for the bigger picture. I bring the perspective of not just Pacoima, California, out in the valley where I'm from, but the U.S. Capitol, because Congress has continued to step up when it comes to investing in infrastructure and reducing our carbon footprint. Today is also a celebration of sustainability, making low-cost, reliable transportation for all to use. We're creating yet another transportation alternative while reducing our carbon footprint. Now in the Senate, you might have heard, we passed last year the bipartisan infrastructure law, the largest investment in transit ever in the United States of America. And it is no exaggeration when I say that the entire country is looking at what Metro is doing here in the Los Angeles region as a vision for the future. We followed that up with the recent passage of the Inflation Reduction Act, which is a historic investment, not just for the United States, but for any country in the world against the climate crisis. And so I just want to make sure you all know that we ain't done. The Inflation Reduction Act, the bipartisan infrastructure law, that's just a down payment of what we need in South LA and throughout the region and throughout the country. So for all those reasons and more, we got a lot to celebrate. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your colleagues. Rides are free all weekend long, starting at noon today. We will see you on the K-Line.
Mayor Eric Garcetti.
Good morning, good morning. How you doing? Mwah, I see you too, I see you. What a beautiful day, what a sea of angels in this city of angels. I would that I weren't a speaker, but a mirror so you could see yourselves. So you could see the beauty of this moment. I was gonna The problem with going 5th or 6th is, like, everything's been said. I was gonna first talk about the All-Stars that are here in the front row, but that's been done. But I wanna thank you. Lorraine Bradley, your father is who laid this vision out with Diane Watson. 1955 is when light rail left Crenshaw, and we're retiring that period of time, because that's 67 years and that's past retirement age. We're retiring the time when there was no light rail here in Crenshaw to bring it back. And thank you to both of you and to your father for being the visionaries who made this happen. Rod Wright, Nate Holden, my old colleague, Mark Ridley Thomas, all the folks who have come before us, Kevin Murray, people who, there are the dreamers who imagine it. There are the planners and funders who make sure it's gonna get done. And then there are the builders who deliver it. No one of them deserves all the credit, but without any of them, we would not be here. That's what this day is about. And it's also about one group that hasn't been thanked yet. And if I could, I'd thank each and every one of the 2,039,214 people who voted for Measure R and the 2.25 million people who voted yes for Measure M, because you have made this possible by saying yes to transit, and yes to less pollution, and yes to fewer emissions, and yes to more jobs. And I was gonna tell you about all the jobs that we created, how local they were, but let me point out our first vice chair and what a champion she was, together with MRT, to make sure that businesses didn't close up and that Black and brown people got hired blocks away from this line. Because that made history and that changed the game, not just here, but across this country. Let me thank our staffers, people like Borja Leon, who's somewhere around here, and Doug. And I want to thank also Dan Rodman from my team, who had a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on this, and Diego and the entire team in the city of LA who worked their tails off to deliver this and to deliver it beautifully. The city council members, thank you, Marquise Harris Dawson, for being here and being a part of this. For Herb Weston and Heather Hutt for being here and making this happen as well. I was gonna sing, but then people had already started singing, so I'm not gonna sing either. All right, I'll do it. Edo's saying don't, but people get ready. There's a train coming. You don't need no baggage, just get on board. You see, this is what we have here today. You're gonna raise it, I'm gonna bring it. But I also finally want to thank, because there's only 27 more speakers after me, but it's gonna be a fun party. And great DJs, by the way, coming. Is to thank the Metro staff. They, we might say, do community meetings, but then they have to hold them. They get yelled at, they get suggestions. When things aren't on time, we ask them why not, and they just keep on plugging forward. Led by Stephanie, let me write into history, because so often Black women are written out of history, that we have a Black woman leading this, we have a Black first vice chair, we have a Black supervisor, 3 Black women who have helped deliver this, a Black congresswoman right here with the great Maxine Waters, with, of course, Karen Bass, who we wouldn't have had those local workers without. And I'm not telling you how to vote, but you better make sure you do vote. And when you do vote, you should consider things like that when you vote. I only got 65 days left. What do I care? So let's make sure that we thank the Metro teams that will not only have dreamed, planned, and built this, but who will maintain this. And what I'll say this in my last words is, Los Angeles, this line is now yours. Care for it like that car you loved so much, like that bicycle you had as a teenager. I used to come down here as a teenager. My breakdance crew, we used to practice up in the hills. Sanford Biggers, who's now this amazing artist, who go to the Orange County Museum when it opens and see his sculpture. We used to come down here, walk past the liquor bank, I swear we just walked past it, and then go down to Popeyes and get biscuits afterwards. And we used to look at here and see its potential and feel it. This is your community. This is your line. Love it. Keep it safe. Keep it clean. Be those who own this line, because everybody belongs in this city of angels. Thank you so much and congratulations.
It's really fitting that I would follow Eric Garcetti We became mayors at the same time. We've been in office during the same time. But my only hope is that I do not only have 65 days to go, because there are no term limits. You know, I lived in this district until I was 19 years old. My parents shopped at Desmond's at the mall. There was Mavericks Flats. I went to Crenshaw High, 59th Street Elementary, Horseman Junior High. And we rode the RTD, or as Steve Bradford said, rough, tough, and dirty. And my parents' heroes were people like Diane Watson, Nate Holden. And I'm so grateful that they are here to see history manifest itself. And please give them a big hand. I'm also feel it's fitting that I follow Mayor Garcetti in the city of Los Angeles, since we have now stolen 3 professional sports teams that all have the name Los Angeles. I'm just excited about today as I was the Super Bowl appearance by the LA Rams. After so many years of planning, organizing, advocating, and pushing for equitable and transformational transportation investment in South Los Angeles, the K-Line is finally here. It will provide quicker and more efficient access to jobs, education, training, sports, and entertainment venues, and so much more. I know this project will be a game changer for so many people who live in the communities that surround the K-Line. I'd like to take a moment, though, to recognize the people who helped build this line through Metro's project labor agreements and construction careers policy. They live right here in this corridor, in this community, and they helped build this project with their own hands. Please give them a big hand, because they manifested history. These workers literally changed their lives working on this project. Some were formerly incarcerated or came from challenging backgrounds, but all they needed was an opportunity, and that's what they got thanks to Metro. These individuals trained and worked hard to become carpenters, laborers, and other skilled trade professionals. In doing so, they become this city's champions. And I want to thank all of our workers for their hard work on the K-Line. But just as our skilled tradesmen and women helped build this line, there were also magnificent artists who helped adorn our K-Line stations with the amazing public artwork that we see in the plazas, mezzanines, and platforms. And let's give a big hand for all of our local artists who participated. It's a little known fact that the biggest line item expense in every year's Metro budget is for pins, swag bags, and fans. There's a lot of money for those things. Metro's art program commissioned 14 artists who created original community-inspired artworks that speak to our ridership, foster an important sense of humanity to our system, and add value as integrated cultural landmarks. These artists were selected through an open, competitive selection process following the recommendation of a panel of community-based arts professionals. Many of our artists were inspired by and worked with community members and organizations to develop the artwork that we see at these stations. You might even see people that you recognize in some of these murals if you look closely enough. With the blending of engineering and art, the K-Line will serve as a vehicle to bring thousands of Angelenos and visitors from around the world to the cultural heart of Los Angeles African American community. The K-Line makes the transit connections our community needs to travel freely throughout our county. Riders will be able to connect to the E-Line to visit Santa Monica, one of my old cities, and ultimately to the C-Line, where they will then connect to the A-Line to visit Long Beach. As the system expands, riders will be able to ride all the way from the west side, San Fernando Valley, or the San Gabriel Valley to access LAX, or the amazing restaurants and major venues like SoFi and the Intuit Dome, cultural centers and museums, and of course, the City of Champions, the City of Inglewood. We're also planning a better transit solution in our own city as well. In the next couple years, the Inglewood Transit Project, an elevated automated people mover that will travel through the heart of downtown Inglewood, will connect with the Florence and Market Street station, and it will break ground. By 2027, The city will have even more access to Metro's transportation system and more mobility options to avoid congested corridors and traffic-choked freeways. Thanks to the K-Line, the entire LA region can come to Inglewood and see for themselves what all the excitement is about. I hope everyone enjoys this new rail line, which was built with the help of some of our local workers and again made beautiful with the help of Metro commissioned artists. I also hope that everyone enjoys the new connections this line will bring to our community to explore the best destinations that Los Angeles, and they didn't put and Inglewood, has to offer via Metro Rail. Thank you guys very much.
bundle all the footage into a single Google Drive folder. You can just bump all the footage. Oh, new!
Next stop is Martin Luther King Jr. Station, Crenshaw Blvd and Slacker. Exit here for Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw Plaza. Connect here with Metro and
Look,
Dash
it's
buses
got the little
upstairs.
UI has changed. So the design has changed. Oh my god. Can we get an autograph from him? Worse. What happened? Yeah. I need to get my Oh. Look at that. Hello, Makai.
Station on Crenshaw between King and Stockard. Exit here for Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw Plaza. Connect here with Metro and Dash buses upstairs.
So I do bring mine, but I forgot to. One more, and the last stop. And then we head back.